This is mentioned in the Rig Veda. And it is so precious that I have wondered for so many years that, why has no master of philosophy or no school of philosophy, entertained this thought? If you, first of all, when you study this, you will not understand it, even if you are enlightened. I remember my son and Shambhu Guruji are the two only people who asked me this question. And unfortunately, when I explained them, they could not understand this. But when you are doing this course and you want to know how does this technique work, so this sutra is about it. I'll tell you the sutra. The Rig Veda says that when anything in the surrounding, in the space, the word has been used as space, or time, comes in the contact of the senses. Understand this very well. Most of you will not understand, but put it in the future reference folder of your mind. When anything in the space or time comes in the contact with the senses, the essence of it, the information of it is transferred to the buddhi. So as per the sanskar, the buddhi analyzes it. It is such a beautiful thing. If you understand it, you will understand that right now, whether you are blessed with enlightenment or whether you are not blessed with enlightenment, you are enlightened and bound both. You'll get the answer that why is this situation of the mind still there even after enlightenment. So the buddhi analyzes the information transferred by the work organs and the sense organs as per its sanskara. Sanskar is what? Layer after layer, layer after layer, layer after layer, from lifetimes, whatever we have experienced and we have learned, that becomes our sanskar. Shambhu, I have told you, but unfortunately at that time, you were not ready to understand this. Now today I'm telling you again. Buddhi means memory, does not have past memory. Buddhi means past memory. And it has learned a lot from many lifetimes. And as per that, once you put your hand in the fire, you get burnt. So your buddhi says, next time, don't put your hand in fire. Correct? So layer after layer, whatever is coming, the buddhi collects information. Now, what does the buddhi do with that information? It does not throw away unwanted information. It keeps it stored in itself. Why? Because it believes from its past experience that every information is important and so it is not worth discarding. Now, this collected information, junk information, becomes knowledge. Few good points out of it becomes wisdom, and the best out of it becomes enlightenment for you. Beyond best takes you beyond enlightenment. Now, this buddhi transfers all the data to your spirit, to your soul, to your atma, whatever you. Atma sends the information to the mind, which is your aura. So, buddhi is transferring the information to Atman. Atman is transferring the information to Brahman. The inner mind is the soul, Atman, and the outer mind is your mind, your aura, Brahman. Okay. And this transform of energy creates heat. Okay. Have you seen two drops of water kept near each other? They go and stick to each other. They magnetic pull each other. In the same way, when you see two flames burning very close to each other, they jump and they merge into each other. Have you seen that? So the heat created while the data transfer is a very subtle heat, but it becomes one with the 5 heat of the body. What are the 5 heats of the body? The voice, the body temperature, the digestion, the lust, and love and knowledge. And insult also. The 5th is insult, anger. That is the 5th. So when the mind is heated with every thought coming from the Atman, Buddhi is gone now. Buddhi's work is done. When the mind is receiving information, the heat is created, and that heat is absorbed by the heat of the body, which creates movement in the airs of the body. It is mentioned Marutaha. It creates movement in the airs of the body, and the movement in the air of the body creates physical action and sensual actions of the body. Like when that heat, for example, it is written in the Rig Veda, merges with the heat of the body, it creates a rhythm, swar. It creates a rhythm, it creates a swar in the marutah, in the air. And that marut comes out as voice. This is how the voice is created. I have never read even a single article in modern science which has this kind of definition that how is sound created. When you are born, you cannot pronounce a certain words. That's because that kind of heat is not still developed in your body. Once the heat starts developing, you start making words. Old people cannot speak properly. Why? Because the heat is not enough to create words out of thoughts. Understood? So, not only words, it is written about words, but not only words, also the actions are created by this same process. How your brain, your memory is going to interpret a certain information received by any sense organs or work organs is your freedom. So everyone is free. But that freedom will create information in the mind which will go back to the senses, work organs also, and will recreate certain responses or reactions which will again become an information for the mind. And the mind will again re-study it and rejudge it as per its recent, capacity and maturity, and it will retransfer it to the soul. The soul will retransfer it to the mind, and the mind will retransfer it to the system. And the vicious cycle never breaks, not even after enlightenment. So your free will, your mukti, is creating bandhan for you. And your bandhan is creating mukti for you. Because again, whatever your senses and work organs are doing, it is being recorded by the mind, by the buddhi, by the brain, by the memory. And the memory is analyzing it as per the past memory. So freedom creates bondage, and bondage creates freedom for you. If you want to be free from freedom, you have to also let go the freedom. Not bondage, Shambhu. You have to let go the freedom. Freedom is the cause of bondage. It becomes cold when it rains. Correct? And it rains because it is hot. So heat creates cold, and cold creates heat. It is a vicious cycle. In the same way, freedom creates bondage, and bondage creates freedom. Yes, Shambhu.
Would it be right to say that it is a desire for freedom, and once you have the freedom, the desire to be in the freedom that creates bondage?
The fear of losing freedom.
The fear, but initially the desire of freedom?
The desire of freedom is there for everyone. Everyone wants to be free. Someone wants to be financially freedom, some financial freedom. I want so much of money that I can retire. Someone wants relationship freedom. I want to be in a relationship. I don't want to die alone. The fear, the desire of achieving something does not allow you to achieve that. Once you forget about freedom, freedom comes. But as soon as freedom comes, you start rejoicing that freedom has come. But you don't know that constantly freedom is creating bondage for you. When you are blessed with self-realization, you understand that everything you did in any of your past life had brought you one step closer to your self-realization. Correct? Correct. So everything you did in bondage brought you towards your freedom. It brought you to the